what does the word home mean to you? Home, ghar, jaga. What does it mean to you as an artist?
Home is the whole thing I'm moving around, because that's why I make many homes. मगर रहने को घर नहीं सारा जहां हमारा.
हमारा है.
So
पर
whenever
फिर भी ढूंढते वही घर.
हाँ, वही घर. When large flood in 2014, I was going that time there, but I was made to stop because there was a lot of rains. So then I found big flood. The houses which I wanted to protect had been washed out. And during that time, there was no communication with the people. So during that time, I started painting the portraits of those whom I was associated with. I painted the portrait of butcher where I will buy the mutton, the shopkeeper, the professor, and I made hundreds of those portraits till the communication was restored. Then I went to Kashmir, saw these houses toppled down, dissolved in the water, and some of them beautiful houses because it's mud mortar. So when I came back I built this toppled house and also made a film on that, in which you can enter into the house and see that film of flood.
The Kashmir dialogue has always been the top priority. You've done a lot of other work too. Do you think that your Kashmir, you would be able to see your Kashmir as you had seen it during your lifetime?
I hope so, but it doesn't work like that because the times have moved. It doesn't look like reverse migration so easy, but I try to indulge because at some point I felt studio practice is not enough because your memory is fading what your experiences are. Because you are in now Delhi, bigger city, you move in the world differently, see big things and go to museums, art. At one point I thought, no, I have to go back, and I keep going to engage with the people. That gives me energy, that gives me oxygen basically, not from the beauty of Kashmir, what you say is a paradise. For me, paradise is lost, but the oxygen I get by talking to people. I go to downtown, I meet people, they tell me different stories. People are beautiful anywhere. We make it mess out of it. So there's lovely story all the time. When I go, I bring some story with me. It's from the common people. I remember in 92 I did the first show. When I painted these experiences. That was the only time I called community people to see it, and they could relate to it. Oh, he's my uncle, he's my this. Because I remember one painting I did large 8x4 while painting on canvas. I was painting the people who were in a queue registering as a refugee for the migrants, so they could relate to this. I have never seen people relating to work, so it was first time I saw people are relating to work. It's like them there.
Art and design speak to the lives of many who were displaced and who continue to carry fragments of homes across geographical areas. It reflects the rupture of everyday life through abandoned homes, interrupted rituals, and languages sustained in absence. Ladies and gentlemen, today, let me tell you a story of expression, a story of dreams. Our lives do not endure any place as territory, but homeland as resonance, shaped by accumulated voices and silences across generations. Through artistic articulation, our very special guest offers a tentative resolution where art becomes a space to acknowledge displacement, hold losses, and endures togetherness. Imagines belongings beyond a physical return. If you are an art lover, just remain. You will love this episode. Hello, I'm Meenamma. I'm a storyteller and a trainer, and I wish to share my chats with inspirational people around me on many topics of global interest, with the hope that my audience may design a better life from these episodes. Each talk is an inward journey. Come travel with me today to meet an extraordinary Indian, a great human being. Do watch till the end and subscribe to Meet Meenamma on YouTube, Instagram, and other handles. Welcome. Today's episode, we have the privilege of speaking with Veer Munshi, a renowned visual artist and a curator whose work has transcended beyond borders, beyond time. Born in the beautiful valley of Srinagar, Kashmir, Veer has established a significant presence in the art world since moving to Delhi in 1990. With a degree in fine arts from MS University Baroda, his artistic journey spans across 3 decades, exploring a myriad of subjects, with exile being the central theme in his work. Veer has exhibited in more than a dozen solo shows across India, the United States, Australia, Switzerland, and Scotland, and his most recent solo exhibition, Healing Wounds, was held in the AICON Gallery in New York in March 2025. Additionally, his works have featured in key group exhibitions, including a solo, a booth at the Indian Art Fair in 2023, and the Disruptors Group show at Highline Gallery, New York in 2022. His contributions to significant international events like the Kochi Muziris Biennial and the Dhaka Art Summit highlights his impact on contemporary art. Tune in, ladies and gentlemen, as we uncover the layers of our favorite artist, Veer Munshi's artistic journey, and gain insights into the world of contemporary art through his eyes. Hi, Veer. Lovely to see you here.
Thank
How
you.
do you feel with Meenamma?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you
Uh-huh.
inviting me in this studio. It has been pleasure.
Veer, you have such a beautiful name. Veer.
Oh.
You're the brave
Oh.
lad from Kashmir.
Oh.
Who is Veer?
I don't know. I thought what a name this was given, but later now I see even the youngsters are given this name as Veer. I thought, oh, it still exists as contemporary name. So I'm happy.
Veer, you're an artist who has been recognized for many things. An artist who has taken pain into a different level of expression. For many of the viewers who do not know you, Kashmir has been a story, not just your motherland or your homeland, it has also been the center of your life. So before we proceed into the artist, I want to ask you this Kashmir theme, the theme of exile, has shaped your practice and the narratives with which you work. But before that, before Kashmir, the exile, the partition happened, tell me about your childhood. Where were you as a child? And what happened to Kashmir as you grew up?
As a child, I was in Kashmir, of course, and it was any other child, a happy childhood. So I lived in Srinagar, so we have the same schooling as anybody has. So there was nothing. It was beautiful. Like you are in a family, you have your surroundings, you have your neighbors, you have full joy of cousins, and there will be many celebrations. There will be very ritualistic practices which you have seen and grown along with. That's how childhood was, and schooling. Then I went to college. I did academic graduation. But during the academic graduation, I got inclined that I can draw. I had a confidence that I can draw a tree or a face or a house or a landscape. So that was but I didn't know I would be taking it further, or this is a profession which I would be going for. So I thought I'd become a magistrate, because we had family friends who were the magistrates. I was getting very charmed by this magistrate position, but I didn't know what the court is about. When it grew, and though it didn't suit me, I thought, no, I don't belong to it, so I was lost. So I got very complex, because I think all my classmates went for engineering and medical, so I was the only loner left. So I felt very I don't know what to do with life. So this was the other thing that I remember. I revisited one senior artist studio. I was very amused to see him, how he will put the paints on the canvas through his buckets. So more like Jackson Pollock's experience kind of thing. So I was this could be also one of the things one can do. So, and I think he told me to go to some local art institution. And later, after graduation, I left and went to Baroda. Till then, I enjoyed Kashmir very much. I knew what Kashmir was in my growing impressionable age. So that is how my life in Kashmir was.
And Jannat kahin hai to Kashmir mein yahi hai, yahi hai, yahi hai. So Kashmir is like paradise on earth. And that paradise has been torn apart and has become a national dialogue. So when did young Veer understand that his Kashmir was becoming much more than just home?
Kashmir. I don't know because people call it Jannat. Now, when you come out, you feel why people were calling it a Jannat. So it has something natural beauty about it, but beyond that, it has much more, which I understood later. It has much more cultural nuances, which I think is the culture of that place is so enduring, which I didn't find it anywhere after I left and after I moved to other places and have been seen. That's why I think Kashmir plays a very, very important role. You can take me from out of Kashmir, not Kashmir out
Kashmir
of
out of
me.
you, very
So
true.
it's like that.
Over the last 3 decades, I understand that you started slowly because art came to you, and we belong to a generation where an artist looked at as a dreamer. He will always be that poor guy who will be dreaming and painting, and while all his friends become all these corporate honchos and rich fellows. So we all belong there. But suddenly the table turned for you in the sense people looked at you because you were singing a different song. You were using media differently. You were using your art to express a pain that is almost a healing pain for you. So tell us more about what Veer did with his pain. How did the pain become your cathartic moments? And what is Veer's art all about?
I think more or less because I have been formally trained from Baroda, so that was a different training period, like what art is about. So I knew what is art about, but it is not the knowledge; it's the experiences you come through that makes you a different person. So I believe the exile played that role in me that you felt like you're reborn again, like you are seeing things differently. What you understand has not really been true understanding to up to the large. You have this very limited formal training where you deal with the art practice differently than the experiences. I think this exile has become a defining undercurrent of my artistic practice. And this displacement of people, definitely, which is an historic rupture. Not only historic rupture, it's also personal experience, which is so deep and which shaped me, my language I was practicing. I think that played a big role. And what I was trying to do is, I didn't know how to deal with the new way of, because it's personal, political. How do you use politics in art? How do you use your experiences, which is personal, into art? Because those days I didn't find much of references. I know during partition period, there was Satish Gujal's certain works I have seen, or Krishan Khanna's certain works I have seen, and in Calcutta, this Somnath Horse, some of these works, or Chitra Prasad's graphics. These were political works, but not much as in reference. Of course, then I saw the Picasso's Guernica, which talks about the pain.
Correct.
So these things, but I have not seen much in cinema also. There was Garam Hawa, there was Sadgati, but not much because we became more entertainment cinema. So there was not much politically charged works which would have given my way. So I was struggling. So I was not able to paint what I used to paint in earlier years in Kashmir or Baroda, which was not turning as it used to be earlier because my frame of mind was very different. So I wanted to paint something. So I first painting I remember, I painted Terrorist on Floating Land. That work taught me a lot of things which I have not learned from the art school. It was very cathartic. It put my mind in peace. There was something about it. I said, oh, there is a way to deal with these subjects. So, but I found a lot in literature and a lot of things have been written. So, those days I used to live in Mandi House because when I landed in Delhi, every struggling artist lives in one particular place in a dormitory of Bahawalpur House, it's called. So, I was there. So, there was a lot of it's a cultural hub, and so you could go to see the music, you will see theater. And I would sit a lot in the library. I found some of I was trying to find some political language which I found through certain writers like Edward Said or later Aga Shahid Ali, who have written about Agashad Ali's,
Poetry.
written about country without post office. Many such, or the Orientalism of uh, uh, Edwards. So, they found it. So I started doing these political works. Whatever my experience, I tried to put on the canvas. I didn't know whether it's becoming art or not, but it was my catharsis, so it was making me at ease. I was trying to archive the material or the memories when you are away from the place, which is lost, and you start thinking these fragments of whether it's a heritage, whether it's a carpet or the motifs, or these all elements you want to put together some forms before you lose from the public consciousness. So I think that became my way of doing to begin with. For
But did you ever feel homeless in this process?
Of course, because this was all about the homelessness. I felt you feel like rotten if the root is cut and fruit is rotten, sort of. You feel like
So
rotten.
you felt
fruit.
you didn't belong where you were, but where you
Yeah,
actually had to go, there was no home.
I feel like I have never unlaced my shoes. I'm walking.
Ah.
So ever since I left the place, I'm walking. I still feel that. Like, you never settle. So that kind of feeling you have. So you're very restless in doing, but how do you do? Earlier, I was little bit of indulging in activism, talking about the problems of Kashmir, but it didn't work for me because I think the people who don't experience will not understand what it means. So I shut myself within. So art became a release or archival expression. That's how I started doing these things.
But for you, art doesn't, it's not one thing for you. You've used different media.
Yeah.
You've never been just a painter. You've done so many things, including music and theater and videos, and you've used different media too. So how did you decide which part of your exile, which part of your pain will be in which media?
No, it so happened because every medium has a possibility and limitation. What you can do in painting, you can't do in sculpture or installation or video. So it happened while making an expression, you try to indulge in different mediums. I used to be for many years I painted all these experiences, but later I think I got a chance that Vivan Sundaram curated a show of installations, which he meant to take art out of the white box, white cube to the public. So he gave us the carts, the thela. So we tried to build certain installations around it. There were, I think, 12 of us. We were young artists then. So I think that gave me and some. My work was called Burial, and it has different faces. I put the photographs of myself, and which would say, "I am the terrorist. I am this. I am the fundamentalist. I am the refugee. Everything. I am the victim. I am the victimizer." And put the turned boat over it, and it became like a coffin. And we went through the people, through the bazaars, through the institutions. So it became a mobile cart. Oh, wow. So I understood there is a possibility of making installation. There's a possibility of showing much more through the installations. So I started making the installations. So I remember I made few of the installations at that time, moving installation. There was one installation which will have face of one Kashmiri man, and it will move and it will stop and say, "I'm a Kashmiri, what am I to you?" So I'm a Kashmiri, what am I to you? So this will, because it becomes more interactive. So that's what I say, there's a possibility of each medium. Likewise, when I did photography I used when I went to Kashmir after many years. It was after 15 years I went to look for my home, which was not there, which I knew is burnt, but I still wanted to see it. But it was very emotional journey to see your house, your home is not there, is burned down. No. Then I saw these houses around, so I thought I should do something with it. So I thought I will paint it. But painting would immediately, I did scribble some of these sketches, painted, sat there, did it. but it would mean my emotional, extra emotionality. I took a photograph, so I thought photography will be the real thing to, you know, frame the
To capture
exactly
that.
as I felt as it was.
So one click captured it all.
Yeah. So then it started, though these houses are very big, and it was also became a concern, this houselessness, and also the concern of how to save this heritage. It's so beautiful houses. It has a vernacular architecture which talks about the civilization of that time. How do you save it? So it's a monumental task. I try to convince the certain government agency to at least save some, because it happens everywhere. It's not like Kashmir, because when
It's
it
a
changed,
legacy.
because it changed the hands, then like I remember our house which has changed the hands is now shopping complex. You know how our developments happens, you lose that heritage
And
angle
no one
roots.
bothers to
No
care
one
to find
bothers
out
to.
what was the remains there.
Yeah, so the photography came from that. I was not a photographer, so I will recce the whole day. Then early morning, under the clouds, I will click the photographs. It should get the mood of the place. See, whatever mediums you use, you have to excel it to reach where you want emotion. So it has those kind of. So that became like a photography project. Then you keep pushing your subject. I remember after photo, because these are archival projects, it still goes. Whenever I go, I keep clicking photographs. I first did in Srinagar, then I went out of the Srinagar, I went to Kashmir in different parts, wherever these left out abandoned houses are. So I made this body of work, and then I said, what else? Then I make a video, film. So that was, I do it very ordinarily. I walk in and I give my handycam camera to somebody. I ask them to walk behind me. So I kept walking in the, it was going back to the memory lanes.
Nostalgic.
So I kept going in different seasons, walking on the chinar leaves, dry chinar leaves in the autumn, or the snow in the winter,
Capturing every
capturing these moments. These are like personal journeys.
It was like searching for yourself.
Yeah, which turns into, people call it an art, but for me it's very personal journeys you want to capture in different times, and likewise.
Art is a self expression that is so personal that unless the artist tells somebody that this is what I'm trying to convey, the other person might see it wrongly. So, how do you convey? Now, you are conveying a walking down nostalgia lane. You're conveying the footprints that you left as a child on the leaves. You're conveying the house that belonged to you. There's house and home to both are burned down. You're conveying your childhood dreams and your anguish. But that can be only told. Supposing I look at a picture, I might not see all this. So, do you get enough of platforms where you can talk when you have your installations or you have your pictures? Do people ask you, or they just take what they want to see?
See, people ask you, but my answer will be, it is your experience, your perception. How do you enjoy it? Like you can't expect an artist to be with the work all the time or everywhere. So for me, it's a process. When I do it, when I feel like doing it, I don't see how public will view it. It's not for the public viewing, because it's how will you take it as, then I will make it, is how I feel I do it. Then how do you, in every place people feel it differently. Some things it is historical significance, some feel it's emotional significance. It depends what is your perception, what's your experience, where do you come from, and what are your journeys, and you connect it. That's the beauty of it. Everyone will take it differently, and yet now it's the researchers to find where has it come from.
But
So
do you disconnect once you finish a project emotionally? Do you disconnect, or that travels with you to the next project?
no, it's a release. No, like you release, and you know where to stop and where is, because see, the whole thing is, the if you can build, you have a content, I have a content. Everyone knows what conflict is, or what the joy is, what this is, or what that is what is the role of an artist. How do you transfer that content into your language, whatever medium material it would be? How, what is the strength of that language? If you're a poet, how much verses are so strong to make you feel this is a poetry? Finally, poetry becomes the first, the content is the the subject of it. So for me, the artist or a filmmaker or a theater, you are known through your strength of your language. The content could be anything. That's how it is. So there's no. So you try to make it as aesthetically or as its language demands to the best of its ability.
Keeping
The more,
the truth.
yeah,
Keeping
and the
the
more
truth.
you grow, the more you understand, the more humble you are because the more challenges are there.
Very true.
So because now you understand it. Earlier it was you are joyful, you're excited with anything, but the more you grow, more challenges. It's not easy. So now you understand it's the ocean. Like if you look, you are a little ant in the ocean.
Yes.
So trying to do, trying to be. You, as I say, you're always trying to be an artist. And to become an artist is a big thing.
Something is a big thing, I know. Your recent exhibition, The Healing Wounds, it's maybe a few years old now. I think it was brilliant. I've been watching your pictures, and ever since I realized I'm going to be talking to you, I stop at a picture and I can't move. I mean, it's almost like the every picture's talking to me, and I'm sure all the people who watch your work also feel the same. And this you travel with this across different countries, isn't it? Which is your favorite of the wounds that you've shown? Which is your favorite one, and why?
See, there's nothing like favorite. It's a continuous process. When you're doing a work, then you see what else you can do. You come to another work. Then you see what else, and you saw your drawbacks, you saw your strengths, you see how it can. It's like you create a problem, you try to solve it. And that takes your energy. Sometimes you have restless nights to solve your problem because you create the problem. You don't need to, but you create. That's an artistic journey. You create a problem. So Healing Woods was much more because I've been dealing with the conflict images more deeply, the pains. Like I made sculptures, I made bones to paint and all. Then I thought, how do one heals it? Can I contribute it in a way that it looks healing? So these what you have seen in this recent show. These are these fragments. These are shrapnel fragments put together, which turns to be a fractured carpet. The carpet, which is so beautiful, Kashmir is beautiful. When you come closer to it, there's a conflict under. There are many layers of conflict under it. So I try to, how do you make this? So I made these fractured carpets, which is laser cut, and but it comes from the conflict shrapnel images. And then I try to bring another layer, what is lost, the legacy, whether ritualistic practices, heritage thing, heritage buildings, the language. How do you protect it? How do you archive it? So another layer comes into it. So I started bringing all the, whether it's a Sufi shrine or ancient temple or the people, their cultural nuances or their practices, or all those, or the iconography of what was there, what I have seen as a young child, these hand painted iconography which I have seen then in the museums, but recently I could not find them, so I start bringing them into my work practice. So there are many layers to, and also use the traditional material which you see normally in the props, paper mache craft,
That is
in
the
the
gum
boxes,
you used.
yeah, the
That is the
boxes,
glue for the entire thing. Yes.
the boxes, and also it is craft which is also decaying and getting lost. So I thought, how do you protect it? I started bringing it into my work and also healing with this traditional beauty on these carpets. So I thought this craft became very important for me.
So, what would Veer say when I ask him, what does the word home mean to you? Home, ghar, jaga. What does it mean to you as an artist?
Yeah, because home is the whole thing I'm moving around, because that's why I make many homes. मगर रहने को घर नहीं सारा जहां हमारा.
हमारा है.
So
पर
whenever,
फिर भी ढूंढते हो वही घर
हाँ, वही घर,
जिसके
yes.
खोया आपने.
Maybe that is why I am doing these installations at different places. One recently admire, and say one you would see in Partition Museum, or one you have seen the India Art Fair is in the Calcutta Museum. So these are the houses, I think it haunts me. That house, so you want to bring that you want to leave that imprint wherever you go. As it is when you are displaced and when you migrate to different places, you bring your cultural moorings along, you bring your memories, you bring your rituals, you bring your, so you want to leave that imprint. Actually, you always live in it. This is how homelessness in art has come to me. There's a missing link which you feel that your belonging is very important to the roots which is not there.
Veer, your paintings, they are social and political, but they don't shout. They quietly cry to the audience. And I would like you to tell us, if you were not born in Kashmir, would things have been different? If you had not felt the pain of exile, would things have been different? If you had not lost your home in a myriad of memories, would you have been different?
Definitely, it would have been different. Like as I said, I was reborn after you left your place in situation like out of this political rampage. So surely it would be. I would have been one of any other artists who are practiced. That doesn't mean they are not accomplished artists. It's only the subject changes, or your thinking changes, or your perception changes to looking towards things, and you are engrossed differently than the earlier. Because I had a phase when I was in Baroda, and after that, so it was different. Even if I was in Kashmir, it was a different Kashmir. So that also now today is a different Kashmir. The experiences, art is just an extension of yourself, nothing else. It doesn't come from knowledge. Knowledge is okay, but that doesn't make art. It's the experience you go through, whether good or bad, whether you are in conflict or you are in joyful mood, or you are in you are in some island. There will be experiences. That doesn't mean art doesn't exist without pain or joy or anything there. But finally, it's an extension of you.
I want to take you back to the moment you were telling me you took your mother back home after 70 years of exile for her. She left as a young woman, and today she is 95. God bless her soul. I would like you to share this with us because it's very important. Your mother had seen the partition of the country. She was very much a part, a witness to what happened to Kashmir at that time, and now her son is showing her a different route. And she went back. Tell us that journey, your mother's journey.
Yeah, as we were growing, we have heard this story from her, from my mother, the word partition, because they have come from one part of Kashmir, that is Baramulla, which is the extreme of north of Kashmir. When the raiders hit in 47, so they had to flee, and her father was killed. And ever since, she had never gone. But they have been telling us these stories. So we have grown with it, but not got affected seriously. It's like looking at Nazi film or
It's somebody else's story.
some else's story, and then you are okay with the life. Okay, but when it happened in 90s, so I could understand what it means, what this migration or political migration means to a person. Why is she so restless? Why is she so insecure? In fact, she was the first to tell, oh, there's something going wrong. She could sense it much before than we could think of it. There's something we may have to leave. So that insecure feeling in her was very much there. So now, after long, I thought many years, when I started going back to Kashmir, I would not, I was not allowed to go to Kashmir because they were really scared. So I would always bluff that I go somewhere, but I used to go to Kashmir. Then I thought, let me take my mother. She was 84 at that time, 10 years back, I would say. Now I took her to Srinagar, to our house, where we used to live in that place. Then I thought of taking her to the place where she had never gone, where she has come from, Baramulla. That is after 70 years. I took her there. That was magical. That was very like a pilgrimage to go with her and find the place. It was not easy. She remembered some temple. So I found that temple. So there was some security people there, and there was something happened at the same time, some bomb blast, some of the security got alert, so we thought we'll come back. But then I had a friend, Muslim friend. He said, "No, no, no, I will take you where the place is." So we had to go across the bridge. So we went there, looked for that house. Luckily, her house was next to Maqbul Sherwani, who had saved Kashmir then,
Correct.
who dodged raiders, those infiltrators for 7 days till they negotiated with the government, whatever that political
Yes.
history is. So that house was very popular, so it was next to her. So she found it. Then we sat at the bank of river. She told me this story, what happened then. It was such an impressionable age, so fresh in her memory. So in continuously for 2 hours, she told me what happened, how the raiders came, how the Kabalis they were called as, how they came, how they did things, and that was really very painful, but what good journey. But the outcome of it is after that she felt released and she allowed me to go to Kashmir. So I keep going to Kashmir ever since.
It's amazing. This is a beautiful story. And for a child, I think now her story can also come in the tapestry, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure Veer has got it in his head. His hands are itching to show this beautiful journey.
Yeah, that's what I've said. The mediums and materials, like it, everything is a limitation, possibilities, and you bring these stories into a work and making that as an archival material, and which is that's how do you view the history of the place and the time. That's how what the artist journey is.
Veer Munshi, you have recently created a house. It's a kind of installation. Just tell us more about it.
Yeah, this installation I set up because I made this house which has, you can walk into the house. It has a water body down. It has these all these latest works up and around. It's a, definitely that when you move to the different places, you carry these memories and which you want to place. So I have done it in various ways. The earlier I have done one toppled house, which was more or less when the floods have come to Kashmir, when large flood in 2014. In fact, I was going that time there, but I was made to stop because there was a lot of rains. So then I found big flood. So the houses which I wanted to protect had been washed out in this flood. So then, and during that time, there was no communication with the people. Uh, so during that time, I started painting the portraits of those whom I was associated with. I painted the portrait of butcher where I will buy the mutton, the shopkeeper, the professor, and I made hundreds of those portraits till the communication was restored. Then I went to Kashmir, saw these houses topple down, dissolved in the water, and some of them beautiful houses because this is mud mortar and that kind of. So when I came back to, I built this toppled house and also made a film on that, and which you can enter into the house and see that film of flood and loss.
Where is this located?
And now it is in Calcutta in some museum. It was shown in Art Fair 2015.
Okay. Okay. And see, you won a lot of awards for your work. You don't talk too much about it. I think the greatest award is for you to be able to go back in your mind and recreate what is in your heart, isn't it? But the Kashmir dialogue has always been the top priority. You've done a lot of other work too. Do you think that your Kashmir, you would be able to see your Kashmir as you had seen it during your lifetime?
We, I hope so, but it doesn't work like that because the times have moved. It doesn't look like reverse migration so easy. So, but I try to indulge because at some point I felt studio practice is not enough because your memory is fading what your experiences are. Because you are in now Delhi, bigger city, you move in the world differently, you see big things and go to museums, art, absorb. At one point, I thought, no, I have to go back, and I keep going to engage with the people. That gives me energy. That gives me oxygen, basically, not from the beauty of Kashmir, what you say is a paradise, For me, paradise is lost, and but the oxygen I get by talking to people. I go to downtown, I meet people, they tell me different stories. People are beautiful anywhere. It's we make it mess out of it. So there's lovely story all the time. When I go, I bring some story with me. It's from the common people. So I start going, and I started uh, seeing how others are affected with the same conflict. What are their expressions, whether it's a writer, photographer, or anybody, or a common man? They have their story to tell. So I engage and bring these things into my work. In fact, I curated some of the projects there.
See, when there is pain, when there is pain is the theme, you can either cry and get burnt, or you can cook yourself and become a different dish. So you can choose to celebrate it, or you can choose to relegate yourself in that pain. You chose to celebrate your memories, and I think that's what make you different. You're not just crying and sitting in one place. What do you think? I mean, is that a difference that you see, that you are able to talk about your pain in a palpable manner? You're able to express it in different ways, and you're able to heal yourself. How do you see it?
See, either you go extrovert or you become introvert. Well, to me, I didn't feel bitter. I used this energy. I went inwards and tried to analyze what is it about. How is it? One is personal, what happens in particular place. Then you try to analyze what is it happening in the world. There are so many things you come to know. There are layers after layers. So you go into that research, and that gives you answer to everything. So sometimes your pain is lesser than the other's pain. So what happens today in the world is much bigger than what happens here. So you get so or you might be affected so deeply with something, and you shout so much you lose yourself too. And you are not, I think then at some point you feel you want to be contributory rather than only being critique, or rather than being having empathies,
Or
like they
anger?
having pity. I don't belong to that genre. I think I should be able to archive. I should be able not only archive, I should be able to be a contributor. So I tried certain projects to work around, and that I can do. So one of the important was, which is called concourse, which I thought the artists, at least I can do one segment of it, the artists who have left Kashmir to bring them back, and the artists who are there to bring to to make. That was one of my curation. So I tried to meet artists who have gone wherever and convince them to come back, who were hurt. Many were, it was not easy, but somehow I made them to come back, and we put up a beautiful show. It was not what work practices were, it was also how to bring this change. And once they arrived there, everyone wants to live there.
Very true.
That was the result of that show, though it's a very, very difficult show to put that time, because it was an abandoned place. And then my journalist who wrote about was killed that day. Only see you have to run for the life. It's not easy to work in conflict places in those times. So but you do it. That's how you push yourself. Then you see, or the even the Kochi Binale project I brought with me, because I made a dargah, I made a shrine.
Oh, and Kochi, is it?
Yeah, I made a shrine, and around that I brought the works of those, whether he was a writer or a photographer or an artist. I brought their expressions. One who lives in the conflict, or one who is affected with the conflict, or one who is born in the conflict. How do they deal with it? So brought that work around my shrine as a parikrama. So you will go around and see the works, and then enter into the shrine and see what it is there. So I made these coffins which has a bones inside. Bones are painted with paper mache craft. So bone is a bone. It could be pain of anyone,
Yes.
or it
It
doesn't
could be a
define.
Hindu, it could be a
It,
Muslim,
it doesn't
could be
define any
anybody.
community. Pain is a pain. That's what I dealt in that project. So you collaborate with so many, because you can see other voices in it rather than individual. As I said, things keep, when you are in a journey, you also fade away when you are in bigger season. So it is very much important for an artist to engage what you are dealing with. If I deal with the Iran, I have to be engaged with it. Rather it become a reporter. So I'm dealing
Yes.
with Kashmir, I have to be engaged with it, otherwise you become a reporter. So it becomes on a periphery. You have to go deeper, research, go engage, and then you can produce something.
Wonderful, Veer. What are your future projects? What are the good projects that we can look forward to?
See, these are, it's like you are saying, what will you eat tomorrow? Like, so these are ongoing, it's a way of life, it's a journey, whatever, because there are so many things going on, you keep working every day, so you don't define, oh, I have to make this film tomorrow, I make
But
this
are you
film tomorrow.
excited about anything in the future?
I'm always excited when you do. It's not excitement is when you achieve or you get some bit of result.
True, true.
Because most of, I think of 10 projects, 8 gets not to the where it has to. Maybe one works. It's like that.
And what about emerging artists who are
Hmm.
looking at you? What is the message you have?
I thought I am an emerging artist. I'm looking for many.
Yes.
It's because you learn from young and old all the time, because the new generation comes with the new thoughts and new, because there's now uh, technology, there's now internet, there's now so many things opening up, so you also have to update yourself with new knowledge which comes from youngsters. And for youngsters, there's, it's a long way, like never get put 100%. If you put 100, very few can put it, so there's no competition.
True,
So, and
true.
do what helps to build your ambition, do that. What doesn't, however glorified it will be, live it, do what you want to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if I asked you which was the most beautiful part of your life in your career, what is that one moment you'll talk about?
uh, I don't know, there was any one moment, but I always felt if my work resonates with the people and they relate to it. I remember in 92, I did the first show. When I painted these experiences. So I called it, that was the only time I called community people to see it. And they could relate to it. Oh, is my uncle, is my this. Because I remember one painting I did, large, 8 by 4, while painting on canvas. I was painting the people, these who were in a queue, registering as for the refugee, for the migrants, so that, so they could relate to this. I have never seen people relating to work, so it
Yeah,
was first time I saw people are
that was
relating to work.
exciting.
It's like them there.
Yes, yes,
So that was
wonderful.
very exciting that time.
So, your artistic evolution, your study of exile, your study of your own self, your metamorphosis from being a child who was carefree to a struggling child to a person who's actually self emancipated. You've actually let yourself heal through your painting. It's fantastic what I've heard in the last 1 hour, and very difficult for me to say that the podcast should end. But all good things have to come to an end,
Yeah,
Veer.
thank you very
And
much.
I wish you all the best. And as your name says, be brave. Tell your stories truthfully as you have always. And it's in your humility I see that your greatness is coming, because people like you, artists like you, who shake up the core of the nation, especially younger artists. You're always telling a true story in a beautiful language. And whether it is your own personal growth or your personal journey, or it is the journey of a country of India, like India, where some directions are meaningless, where some people do not have hope, but are still alive and living, like the Kashmir story, your story will go a long way in etching the history of a country. And I'm really grateful that you're able to express. I know sometime in the future, many years later, we're going to look at you and say that he told me that this would happen, and this is how he felt, and this is exactly what is happening now. So, in parting, what are the three things you would like to say to close your part of this journey?
Yeah, keep working, keep whatever experience you should keep expressing it rather than concealing it. I think that's the beauty, and that's the beautiful thing to share. Sharing is very important, whatever language you have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
For all those who are watching, this is Veer Munshi, a simple boy with simple dreams, whose dreams were shattered for no reason of his. For all of us out there who live lives like this, who have no choice but to accept with dignity what God has given us, what the system has given us, always remember, when you get up in the morning, you can choose to cry or you can choose to fly. Decide which side of the bed you want to get out of. And remember that the darkness in the tunnel always ends when there is a light at the end of it all. So be like Veer, be brave, and remember, sons like this are very few and far apart. And Meenamma is so proud to have spoken to Mr. Munshi today. If you like the content of what I did today, do subscribe, press the bell icon. Remember, unless you support and let me grow, I cannot dream of having people like Veer around. So thank you so much. And remember, India is still a beautiful country. Kashmir is still our crown. It is ours to look at, to feel that we have the best country in the world. Jai Hind and Vande Mataram.
Wonderful. This show, Meet Meenamma. I've been privileged to be here, and the way the questions, way the impromptu answers I had to bring into rightfully, and I think it was very wonderful. I think people should watch and do subscribe to Meenamma.